You have a kind heart and always wish the best for the world. But unfortunately, not everyone thinks the same way. Some people carry ill intentions, manipulating, exploiting, and hurting others without a hint of remorse. If you're not careful, you might find yourself entangled with such individuals before you even realize it. Have you ever met someone who acts friendly to your face, but talks behind your back? Or someone who constantly shifts blame, never taking responsibility for their actions? These individuals may not cause physical harm, but their behavior can leave you feeling controlled, drained, and uncertain about yourself. What makes this even more concerning is that these toxic people aren't always strangers. They can be colleagues, longtime friends, or even family members. Family should be a source of love and support, but unfortunately, some individuals, even those related to us, have a tendency to bring negativity and harm into our lives. In today's video, I will share 10 clear signs that you might be dealing with a toxic person. More importantly, I'll help you understand how to handle them so you can protect your peace and well-being. Before we get into the first sign, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoy learning valuable life lessons. And if you've ever heard the saying, "Some people want to see you do well, but never better than them," leave a comment below, because that's a truth we all need to recognize. Now, let's dive into the first warning sign. 1. Lies without conscience. Ancient wisdom tells us that integrity is the foundation of honorable action. If something is false, it should not be spoken, and if something is unjust, it should not be done. However, for those who thrive on deception, honesty is merely a barrier to be bypassed. They do not stumble into lies by accident. Rather, they wield dishonesty as a tool, crafting falsehoods with precision to manipulate, evade responsibility, or distort reality to their advantage. Picture an acquaintance who consistently fabricates stories to boost their reputation. They once insisted they had orchestrated a major project from start to finish, presenting themselves as the sole driving force behind its success. Yet, when you looked into the details, the truth painted a very different picture. Emails, reports, and first-hand accounts contradicted their claims. When confronted, instead of acknowledging the exaggeration, they twisted the narrative, making you doubt your understanding of events. This is the strategy of a practiced deceiver. They subtly plant seeds of doubt, making you second-guess your own perception. Over time, this erosion of confidence allows them to dictate the truth as they see fit. Their deceptions are not isolated. They must constantly reinforce previous lies with new ones to maintain the illusion. But therein lies their greatest flaw. While truth remains steady and requires no maintenance, falsehoods demand constant reinforcement and inevitably crumble under scrutiny. To shield yourself, stay alert to contradictions. Do their explanations shift when questioned? Are their actions consistent with their promises? Stoic teachings emphasize judging people by their behavior rather than their words. If you detect discrepancies, trust your observations over empty assurances. Demand clarity, expect accountability, and establish firm boundaries. Honesty is more than a virtue. It is a reflection of one's character. And when deception becomes a pattern, the wisest response is to walk away. True strength lies in maintaining self-awareness and removing yourself from those who undermine your integrity and peace of mind. 2. Jealousy in disguise. Jealousy is a corrosive emotion, but its most dangerous form is when it masquerades as support or friendly concern. Seneca warned that envy is the ulcer of the soul, and those who carry it rarely show their resentment openly. Instead, they disguise it in words that appear helpful, subtly undermining your confidence rather than strengthening it. They struggle with seeing others succeed, and rather than confronting their own insecurities, they attempt to make you question yourself. I once knew someone who always took an interest in my accomplishments. At least, that's how it seemed. After completing a project I was truly proud of, they remarked, "That's impressive, but I think if you challenged yourself more, you could achieve something even better next time." Initially, I took it as constructive feedback, but later, I realized there was something else beneath the surface, an intentional downplaying of my success, a way to make me feel like my efforts were never quite enough. These comments may seem innocent, but their purpose is clear: to plant uncertainty in your mind. A jealous person rarely criticizes you outright. Instead, they wrap their envy in backhanded compliments, small remarks that make you second-guess your worth. They might say, "You should be happy with what you did, but don't get too ahead of yourself." Or, "That's great, though I heard someone else achieved something even bigger." These statements aren't about helping you improve. They're meant to hold you back, to make sure you never feel too confident, too secure, or too accomplished. This isn't genuine care. It's a subtle tactic designed to keep you within their comfort zone, where your success doesn't make them feel inadequate. Envious individuals cannot truly celebrate your achievements because they see them as reminders of their own perceived shortcomings. Their goal isn't to see you grow, it's to ensure you never shine too brightly. Stoic wisdom encourages us to trust our instincts. If a compliment or piece of advice feels off, don't ignore that feeling. Pay attention to the patterns in how people respond to your success. Those who genuinely support you will uplift you with honest encouragement, not faint praise wrapped in subtle discouragement. A real friend celebrates your victories without reservation, while a jealous one uses words to make you doubt them. To protect yourself, establish firm boundaries and surround yourself with people who truly want to see you thrive. Seek out those who inspire and challenge you in a constructive way, not those who diminish you to soothe their own insecurities. You should never shrink yourself to make others feel more comfortable. Own your success, trust in your worth, and continue to grow without apology. The unrepentant heart. A defining trait of a truly harmful individual is their refusal to acknowledge wrongdoing. Rather than striving to improve, they remain stuck in destructive patterns, rejecting accountability and dismissing the harm they cause. While philosophy teaches us to focus on self-betterment through action rather than words, these individuals take the opposite path, finding ways to justify their behavior rather than correct it. They build walls of denial, constructing elaborate justifications to shift blame away from themselves. You may have encountered someone like this, an individual who always has an excuse, no matter the situation. When confronted about their harmful behavior, they rarely apologize. Instead, they blame circumstances, claim misunderstandings, or even suggest that others are overreacting. Rather than owning up to mistakes, they rewrite reality to avoid discomfort, ensuring they are never held accountable. The real danger lies in their complete resistance to change. For them, admitting fault is seen as weakness, while stubbornness is mistaken for strength. This way of thinking runs counter to wisdom traditions that value humility, growth, and self-awareness. True strength comes from recognizing our flaws and working to improve, not from doubling down on harmful behavior. Those who refuse to reflect on their actions not only hurt others, but also sabotage their own potential for growth. If someone in your life consistently evades responsibility, manipulates the truth, and refuses to acknowledge harm they've caused, it's worth reconsidering their place in your world. Not everyone is willing to change, and not every relationship is worth preserving. Your energy is best spent on those who embrace growth and seek to become better. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, those who are willing to learn from their mistakes rather than hide from them. The quality of your life is shaped by the company you keep, so choose wisely. 4. Finding joy from your pain. Have you ever felt a sinking weight in your chest, realizing that some people around you take pleasure in your struggles? A smirk when you stumble, a dismissive remark when you fall short. I knew he wouldn't make it. These moments cut deeper than mere disappointment. They force you to ask, why do some people thrive on others' pain? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." His wisdom serves as a reminder that true strength isn't found in retaliation, but in holding on to our integrity, resilience, and kindness, even in the face of cruelty. But what do you do when the sting of mockery lingers, when the echoes of laughter refuse to fade? The truth is, those who revel in others' failures are rarely as confident as they appear. Their need to tear others down often stems from insecurity, comparison, and a desperate hunger for validation. Instead of finding fulfillment within, they seek it in the suffering of others. Isn't that a sad existence? A person who is truly at peace never finds joy in another's hardship. Picture yourself after a major setback, trying to gather your strength, only to be met with judgmental stares and whispers behind your back. It's easy to let resentment fester, to wish for a moment of vindication. But stop and ask yourself, do I really want to become like them? Don't let bitterness take root. Move forward, not to silence your critics, but to prove to yourself that you are capable of more. Your worth isn't measured by their words, but by your ability to rise, time and time again. And when you cross paths with those who try to tear you down, you don't have to meet them with hatred. Instead, see them for what they truly are. Individuals trapped in their own emptiness. Let their negativity be a lesson, not a burden. Your pain is not an endpoint. It is a chance to cultivate resilience, to stand taller, and to move forward with unwavering clarity. By choosing not to sink to their level, you claim a victory far more meaningful than any petty retaliation. You become a quiet force of strength, a reminder to others that dignity and inner peace are the greatest triumphs of all. If you refuse to be defined by the negativity of others, remind yourself every day, I choose a different path, not one of anger or resentment, but of quiet strength and self-respect. Because in the end, the most powerful statement you can make is not in words, but in the way you live. 5. Need to control your life. Some individuals feel an overwhelming need to dominate their surroundings and the people in their lives. When they lack control, they experience discomfort and insecurity, prompting them to exert influence over every situation. Rather than allowing things to unfold naturally, they attempt to dictate outcomes to fit their desires, often at the expense of others. If faced with no resistance, they may even resort to manipulation or coercion to maintain their grip on power. Consider a manager who insists on micromanaging every aspect of a project, not to offer guidance, but to assert authority over the process. Or a friend who habitually makes all the decisions for social outings, dismissing everyone else's preferences. These behaviors reveal a deeper fixation on control, which can become overbearing and oppressive. In many cases, this controlling nature extends beyond mere decision-making. Some individuals enforce strict expectations or use guilt and emotional pressure to ensure compliance. For instance, a partner who constantly questions your whereabouts and interactions may not be acting out of concern, but rather from an underlying desire to dominate your life. This excessive need for control isn't just frustrating, it can be harmful. Those who seek dominance often exploit their influence to manipulate and undermine others. Recognizing these tendencies early is crucial for safeguarding your personal freedom and mental well-being. Setting firm boundaries and maintaining autonomy are key steps in protecting yourself from being drawn into someone else's controlling patterns. If you find yourself in a situation where your independence is being restricted, it may be time to reassess the relationship and take measures to reclaim your sense of self. 6. Lack of empathy. Philosophers have long recognized that humans thrive on connection. We are not meant to exist in isolation, but to share in each other's experiences, both the highs and the lows. Empathy forms the foundation of these connections, allowing us to genuinely relate to others. However, some individuals see relationships not as bonds of mutual care, but as mere instruments for their own gain. Their concern for your struggles is conditional, their interest in your happiness fleeting, only relevant when it serves their purpose. Picture this. You confide in someone about a personal hardship, hoping for a moment of understanding. Instead of listening, they brush aside your words, quickly shifting the conversation back to themselves. "Oh, that's nothing compared to what I went through," they say, making your pain seem insignificant. This isn't a one-time oversight. It's a recurring pattern. Such individuals are either unwilling or incapable of acknowledging emotions that don't center around their own. Their indifference ranges from subtle disinterest to outright enjoyment of others' misfortunes, exposing a profound lack of compassion. Empathy is not a luxury. It is the glue that holds meaningful relationships together. Without it, interactions become empty, self-serving, and exhausting. Those who lack genuine empathy often pretend to care when it benefits them, but their true nature is revealed when there's nothing to gain. They manipulate emotions to maintain control, only to withdraw their so-called concern when their facade is no longer needed. So how do you protect yourself from such emotional detachment? Establish firm boundaries. Do not let their lack of compassion make you question your worth. Seek connections that uplift rather than drain you. Relationships built on respect, trust, and genuine understanding. True companionship is based on shared empathy, not manipulation. 7. Strange feeling when you're around them. One of the most revealing signs that someone may not have good intentions is the unease you feel around them. You may experience exhaustion, restlessness, or an inexplicable discomfort in their presence. This isn't just in your head. It's your intuition signaling that something is off. Picture being at a social event where the atmosphere is light and enjoyable, except for one individual whose presence makes you feel tense. They may not say or do anything obviously harmful, yet something about them creates an undercurrent of discomfort. This unease isn't random. It's often a response to subtle cues that your subconscious picks up, signaling potential negativity or hidden motives. Another scenario is a colleague whose mere approach fills you with dread. You may struggle to explain why, but every interaction leaves you drained or unsettled. Your instincts detect what logic sometimes overlooks, whether it's manipulation, deceit, or simply an incompatible energy. These internal warnings are valuable and should not be ignored. When you consistently feel uneasy around someone, it's a sign that their presence may be disruptive to your well-being. Trust your intuition and recognize when it's guiding you away from potential harm. Prioritizing your emotional health means acknowledging these feelings and distancing yourself from those who drain your energy instead of uplifting you. 8. Isolation. A silent weapon. For centuries, philosophical wisdom has recognized that human beings are designed to support and uplift one another. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "We are made for cooperation, like hands, like feet, like eyelids, like the rows of upper and lower teeth." Strong relationships are not just a luxury. They are essential to our well-being. Yet, when someone deliberately seeks to sever your bonds with others, they don't just limit your social circle. They weaken your foundation of support, leaving you vulnerable to control and manipulation. Take, for example, a woman named Sarah. She was once surrounded by friends and family, filled with joy and a sense of belonging. Then she met someone new, someone who gradually reshaped her reality. This person subtly planted doubts about her relationships, suggesting that her friends were disloyal and her family didn't truly care for her. At first, she resisted these ideas, but over time, the seeds of doubt took root. Slowly, she withdrew from the people who had once been her source of happiness. Before she realized what had happened, she found herself alone, emotionally dependent on the very person who had orchestrated her isolation. Isolation is one of the most insidious tactics of manipulation. It doesn't just remove your support system. It makes you question your own perceptions, your judgment, and even your worth. When you feel disconnected from those who truly care for you, you become easier to manipulate, more susceptible to emotional control, and less capable of standing up for yourself. But the truth is this: real strength comes not from isolation, but from connection. Your power lies in the relationships you nurture: family, friends, and those who uplift you. While no one is perfect, the people who genuinely care for you will always be your greatest source of resilience. If you ever find yourself drifting away from those who once brought you joy, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this distancing truly for my well-being, or is someone subtly steering me away from my support system? True relationships empower you, while manipulation isolates you. Hold on to the bonds that matter, because they are the anchors that keep you strong in a world full of uncertainty. 9. A mask of charm. Epictetus once cautioned that what we see on the surface can be deceiving. Some individuals seem almost too perfect, effortlessly charismatic, endlessly kind, and skilled at making you feel uniquely valued. Their charm is intoxicating, drawing people in like a beautifully scripted performance. But beneath the polished exterior, there may be something far less genuine lurking in the shadows. Charm, when used with sincerity, fosters deep connections and trust. It's what allows friendships and relationships to flourish. However, when wielded by someone with selfish motives, charm turns into a tool for manipulation. These individuals know exactly what to say and how to say it, making themselves appear as the ideal companion, mentor, or confidant. But their warmth is superficial, designed not to build, but to control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A person's character is shaped by their thoughts." Those who rely on charm for personal gain often reveal their true nature when there's no one left to impress. Watch how they treat those who hold no power over them. Do their words match their actions? A smooth talker can disguise their intentions, but their behavior over time tells a different story. I once knew someone who had an uncanny ability to make people feel cherished. Compliments flowed effortlessly from his lips, and his presence was magnetic. But the deeper I looked, the more I realized his kindness was a transaction, every word carefully chosen to serve his interests. When he had nothing left to gain, he would quietly pull away, sometimes even speaking ill of those he once flattered. So how do you protect yourself from such deception? Trust your instincts. If something feels off despite the dazzling words, pay attention to that feeling. Manipulative people count on your willingness to ignore subtle warning signs, to believe in the illusion they create. Stoicism teaches us that truth requires no embellishment. True kindness stands on its own, without theatrics or hidden motives. Look beyond the charming exterior and focus on what truly matters: authenticity, integrity, and sincerity. 10. Animal abuse. A person's treatment of animals often speaks volumes about their character. Acts of cruelty or neglect toward defenseless creatures are more than just isolated incidents. They can signal deeper issues, including a lack of empathy and emotional control. If someone around you mistreats animals, it's a red flag worth paying attention to. Consider a neighbor who constantly berates and physically punishes their dog for minor reasons. Beyond the immediate suffering inflicted on the animal, this kind of behavior reflects a troubling mindset, one that may not be confined to animals alone. A person who displays such aggression often struggles with controlling their emotions, and this pattern of mistreatment may extend to other areas of their life, including how they interact with people. Neglect is another form of cruelty. Imagine someone who keeps pets in squalid conditions, lacking proper food, water, or medical care. Allowing an animal to suffer due to sheer indifference shows a profound disregard for life. Such behavior shouldn't be dismissed or excused, as it reflects a dangerous absence of compassion. Research has shown a strong connection between animal abuse and violent tendencies toward humans. Recognizing these warning signs can help protect both animals and people from harm. It's natural to want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, especially if they are a friend or a family member. But ignoring these behaviors can come at a high cost. Prioritizing kindness, both towards animals and ourselves, is essential. If you suspect someone is harming animals, don't overlook it. Whenever possible, report such actions to the appropriate authorities to ensure the well-being of the animals and prevent potential future harm. The way someone treats the most vulnerable beings says everything about who they truly are. Final thoughts. We've just uncovered 10 clear warning signs that someone in your life might be a negative force. While this realization can be unsettling, remember that awareness is the key to staying in control. Harmful individuals only have power over you when you fail to recognize their behavior. The moment you see through their actions, you regain the ability to protect yourself and preserve your inner peace. Throughout history, great thinkers have emphasized the importance of emotional resilience. You are not obligated to let others drain your energy or disrupt your well-being. Establish firm boundaries, trust your instincts, and stay true to yourself. Because those who seek to control or manipulate others fear nothing more than self-assured individuals who refuse to be swayed. If this video helped you gain insight, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe for more eye-opening content, and drop a comment saying "I choose awareness" to affirm your commitment to personal growth and self-protection. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to guiding you through even more powerful lessons in our next video. Stay strong, stay aware, and keep moving forward.